Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is China Bugatti, and this may be the first video that you've ever seen or even heard of me. However, today I'm doing a get ready with me, aka story time. As you can tell by the title, this is a story time about the time I tripped out on marijuana, aka Mary Jane, aka Cloud 74, or whatever you want to call it. Alright, now, so don't mind me, I do have bangs, and starting off by doing my eyebrows with the regular pencil. Dollar store little pencil, Wet and Wild. However, you know, it costs a little $1.99, so don't worry nothing about it. I do have bangs, so it's gonna cover my eyebrows anyway. So we'll go ahead and get started. Oh, messing up already, y'all. Oh, So anywho, back in the day, I did used to smoke weed. There's a lot of people who did, and I'm glad to say I no longer do. However, you know, I'm not against people who do. It is legal out here in Seattle, Washington, where I'm at. But, you know, it's just not my cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? I might take, you know, a drink or two. However, nothing against those who use marijuana. So, as we can get started, this was about a few years ago. Back, I want to say, well, more than a few years. Back in about 2009. I was messing with the guy. This is back in MySpace days, guys. I'm talking about the MySpace where you used to create your own little backgrounds and have your little music playing on your intro, had your little top 5 going, you know what I'm saying, top 4 to make your best friend mad when you take them off the, you know, top 4 and put somebody else there. But we ain't gonna go there. That's a whole nother story. However, yeah, so there was this guy that I used to like. He was a couple years older than me. He actually went to high school with my sister, and I remember looking back in her book, in her yearbook from high school when I was in 8th grade, and I used to have the coldest crush on him. And I used to be like, man, oh my gosh, if I could just see him, yada, yada, yada. So we're going to fast forward to 2008 now. That was like 2002, something like that. I get a random message. The guy's picture he didn't have a picture on his Facebook. It was just a little gray, you know, guy. I'll insert a picture there. However, it was just a little picture, and I'm like, you know, I see the name. Is this really this guy? You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I decided to actually write back. And he's like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, hey, you know. And he goes, yeah, so how old are you? Yada, yada, yada. We getting to know each other through the little messaging or whatever. And so finally he's like, you know, can I come over? And this is like my second apartment where I actually lived by myself before I had kids. And he's like, you know, can I come over and chill one day? And I'm like, okay, sure. You know, mind you, still haven't even seen that he had an actual picture on. So I don't even know if I'm talking to the real person. I just knew the name. So he's like, oh, I'm like, oh yeah, cool. So one of my close friends, she actually stayed a night over my house that night. So mind you, me and her, we did smoke before he even got there. And I, you know, was on a good one. Let's just say I was floating, y'all. I'm talking about I was on pew. So he gets there, and my friend, she's, you know, high too. She's studying for school. She was in school at the time, and she's studying. Right now, I'm just, you know, touching up my eyebrows. I'm using the cheapo Shady Project little contour palette off of Amazon, y'all. It was cheap. So anywho, so he gets there, and my friend, mind you, she is, she's high as well, you know, under the influence. And, you know, it's kind of like our first actual face-to-face meeting. So, you guys, he basically, he's like, oh, you know, I got a little bottle. You want to hit the bottle. Now, at the time, I used to drink as well. Excuse me, y'all. I used to drink as well. And so he's like, I'm like, oh, you know, it's cool, you know, because I didn't really know him like that. And I'm like, you know, this man could be crazy, all kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? But I was young at the time. I was only like 19. So I'm like, oh, no, it's cool. He's like, all right, well, I'll roll up. He was like, y'all smoke? I'm like, yeah. So we smoking or whatever. Mind you, he's sitting on a different couch from me and my friend. Oh, these eyebrows need to get done, y'all. Look at this. Hello. But so anywho, so my friend's like, yeah, you know, so we smoke, whatnot. And so he's asking me little basic questions, like, you know, he's trying to get to know me, yada, yada, yada. And so I'm like, okay, but it was so awkward because my friend was there, and it was like, you know, damn, y'all didn't even know this much about each other, but y'all, you inviting this man over to your house, and y'all, you know, whatever. What if I wasn't here? He might have to try to rape, abuse, anything. You know what I'm saying? He's nothing like that, by the way. However, he's like, yeah, so, you know, how old are you? And, you know, the basic questions that he already asked on the MySpace. Let's just say that. So I'm like, oh, woo, woo, woo. You know, I'm this age, whatever the case may be. And he's like, oh, okay. So then he's like, okay, so we smoke his plants that he have. So at this point, I'm like, okay. Okay. You know, we gonna smoke his plants or whatever. So we talking, laughing, joking or whatever. And my friend's like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. So I'm like, no, bitch, don't be leaving me by myself. You know, this man might try to get me. Now I'm just, you know, high and overthinking it. So I'm like, okay, whatever. The bathroom ain't too far. You know, if I scream, I'm sure she'll come running. Or whatever the case may be. So, you know, she goes to the bathroom, me and him talking. Mind you, we're sitting on 2 separate couches. So my friend is doing her little homework. She's studying or whatever. But as we're asking each other questions, she's looking back and forth at both of us. As we ask one question, I answer. And she's like, okay. So when she goes to the bathroom, he like, you know, damn, what's wrong with your friend? She got a problem, yada, yada, yada. What's wrong with her? Woo, woo, woo. And I'm just like, you know, well, you know, I don't know. I don't even know why she acting like that. You know what I'm saying? So, long story short, we're going to fast forward now to the part when I started tripping out. These are now weeks later. And he comes over again. Now, mind you, my cousin was in college at Grambling University. So, this is one of my close cousins. She came back to Seattle. She's like, hey, cousin, can I come over? I'm like, yeah. Now, you know, I don't like a lot of people in my circle. I don't like a lot of people, you know, coming to my house, knowing where I live at. You know, it might sound odd. I invited a stranger over, whatever the case may be. But I'm like, yeah, sure, cool. So she calls me. It's about 10, 11 at night. So she pops up. I go open up the window. Yeah, I lived on the bottom floor. Everybody used to come in and out my window instead of using the door. Ghetto mess, I know. So she like, cousin, come open up the door. So I'm like, come to the window. So, honey, let me tell you this. This girl must have came. I open up the window. No, I go outside and open the door. That's what it was. I go outside and open up the door. Let me tell you, she's standing there with about 4 or 5 girls. I'm like, yo, where we do this at? I said, you know, it's dark. Mind y'all, I'm blind. So I'm like, who are they? And she's like, oh, they're just, you know, this is my friends. They can't come over. They don't want to stay the night, but they can't. I said, no, I don't do random females in my house. You know that. You know how I get down. So I don't even know why you tried it. So as this is happening, I'm like, and I got company coming over. She's like, oh, that's messed up. You had me come way over here to stay the night and see you and whoop, whoop, whoop. And I'm like, check this out. You can come, but your friends gotta go. So, mind y'all, ooh, I don't know what this is. But so, mind y'all, dude's pulling up, right? So he get out, he's walking up the little ramp to come down the steps or whatever the case may be. And she's like, all right, well, I'm going home, whatever. I'll just go home. And so I'm like, okay, cool. So he come through, right? He come on in. We go downstairs. He give me a little hug and a kiss. And I'm like, you know, kind of pushed back by it. Because I'm like, damn, you know, this is our 3rd time kicking it. You know, 1st time by herself, but 3rd time kicking it. Or whatever. So he's like, yeah, what happened? Am I ruining something? I'm like, no, you good. You know what I'm saying? Like, right now I'm using this little MAC pigments. I done had this for years, you guys, and I just started using this. See, as you can see how I do it, like this MAC pigment. Anyway, gold's my favorite color, so shoot, I'm always throwing some type of gold on my eyes. But anywho, y'all, so he like, am I ruined? Oh shoot, I'm doing this all wrong, y'all. Ooh, we gonna scratch that. It's a play shirt. I'm getting ready, so don't mind me. So anywho, y'all, he like, I'm like, nah, you ain't ruining nothing. So at that point, he's like, okay, well, you know, what's good? You know, how you been? We ain't seen each other in a few weeks. You know, everything good? I'm like, yeah, everything Gucci, you know what I'm saying? So he's like, okay. So we start drinking, you know what I'm saying? It start turning, he like, you know, at this point, he like dance for me now. Shit, y'all know, y'all don't know, but you know, I'm a big girl, and best believe I could bust it open. I'm talking about twerk, twerk, ooh, twerk, twerk, ooh, twerk. What you know? Ooh, twerk. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm using a little shiny palette as well, girl. It's all broken up, but you know how it still work good. Anyway, so he like dance for me, you know what I'm saying? So the alcohol done hit my system and all kind of stuff, girl. Let me tell you. So he like, okay. So, you know, he's starting to feel himself. He started wanting to do the grown folks thing, you know what I'm saying? He trying to do the little nasty, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, you know, chill, you know, we gonna get to that. But, you know, first I need a little bit of foreplay, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Let me see what that mouth do. So he's like, okay, you know what I'm saying? So, girl, let me tell you, not only is he down there doing the do for hella, I'm talking about at least 30 minutes, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't did nothing yet, but I'm like, okay, cool. So we had smoked as well, right? So let me tell y'all, when I mean I was like ultra high, I'm talking about on Kush Mountain, your girl is blown away. So I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? You know, let me catch my breath. Let me get some water, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm like, start tripping in my mind. I'm like, girl, stop, because he gonna want you to do him. And I'm like, nah, girl, you can't be doing that. You can't be going down as no little HO. You don't want to be named a little HO, right? So, you know, you just get yours and, you know, kick him to the side. Although it wasn't nothing like that, because I kind of like do, you know what I'm saying? But anywho, so I'm like, oh, you know, I'm hot, I'm thirsty. Let me catch my breath, got cotton mouth. So I go to the kitchen, get my little last bottle of water, y'all. Let me tell you, you know, I walk out my kitchen with the bottle of water. You know what he gonna say? You got another one? I'm like, oh, no, I don't have another one. But how hospitable would I be if I would just be like, no, and I drink the water, and he's sitting over there parched, you know, just, although he had enough water, if you know what I mean. But I'm just like, oh my gosh. So I'm like, yeah, you know, I don't, but here's the last one. I ain't drank out of it. You can have it, you know what I'm saying? So he's like, okay. He was like, cool. So I'm like, you know, he gonna want me to do him. He gonna want me to do him. I'm like, he's gonna want me to do him. So I'm like, shit, what can I do? So I'm like, I gotta cause some type of, you know, distraction or something. Like, you know, we gotta turn the table so he'll just leave. Honey, so I do this. Let me grab my phone real quick. Ring, ring, ring. Oh, hello? Acting like somebody calling me. Hello? What? Are you serious? So y'all, I'm acting at this point. I'm acting like my mom's my mom's calling me, cussing me out. So I'm like, why is she even tripping? We gonna go back to when my cousin came over, right? So why is she tripping? Are you talking about? I never told her she had to leave. Yada, yada, yada. Oh, are you kidding me? You're coming over here for what? Are you serious? Girl, let me tell you. He was like, is everything okay? Like, do I need to leave? I'm like, I mean, you can if you want to, but, you know, but my mom about to come over because she talking about I basically chose you over my cousin, and, you know, my cousin should have been staying the night, and regardless of you had company and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, you know, like, are you kidding me type, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not even the case or whatever. I don't like this color, so we're gonna go ahead and get a darker purple one. So I'm just like, I was like, you don't have to leave, but, you know, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be some yelling. So she's like, he was like, oh, for real? So mind you guys, let me tell you what this dude does. You know how parched my mouth was, right? Why he go like this with the water? Hold on. He took a little sip like this. Mom, is that you? And just put it down. I said, no, he did not. He just wasted my mother water, and I ain't got no more cold water in my house. And you know how fucking dry my throat is? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you kidding me? No, he did not. So, girl, anyway, I'm like, yeah. He was like, well, you want me to leave? I'm like, oh, you don't have to leave. You know, it's up to you, right? So he's like, oh, well, I'm going to just go ahead and leave. You can just call me, right? So we smoked the Be Legit. I don't know if y'all from the West Coast or wherever y'all may be in the world. A Be Legit is a footer, a foot long, you know, a weed. It's a long ass blunt. Now, mind you, I used to smoke, but I always smoked in sessions. I never smoked like a full blunt to myself. I never smoked just me and another person a full blunt. Well, we smoked a full blunt, but never like, you know, a Bila, right? Y'all, so I'm telling you, I am extremely high. I'm talking about OD high. So so mind you, I'm like, oh, you know, I don't want no more. So there was maybe about this much weed left. So he like, oh, can I get that? That's on your, can I get the rest of the weed? I'm like, yeah, okay. But we at the door at this point. He's like, oh, call me, yada, yada, yada. Give me a kiss. And I don't like to kiss. So he like, okay, you know, call me later, woo woo. He was like, but I was like, oh, I'm gonna bring the blunt to you, right? Now remember I told you everybody used to come in and out my window. That's how people used to come in and out. Nobody really ever came through the front door except for me when I would leave by myself. So I'm like, okay, look, I closed the door on the dude, you know what I'm saying? And I go ahead on about my business. I'm sitting with the blunt by the window, right? Thinking he's about to come around. After he come outside, he gonna come around to the window. So I'm sitting there leaning outside the window, you know, just sitting there, waiting like, damn, did he forget about the blunt? But I haven't even seen him come out the door yet. So where the hell is he at? All of a sudden, y'all, I hear, I'm like, is somebody at my door? Wait, ain't nobody at my door. Then I hear boom, 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 boom. I'm like, oh shit, somebody's at my door. Y'all, so I go to the door. He like, what happened? I'm like, oh shit, I forgot. He was like, where's the blunt? I'm like, oh, hold on, I forgot it. Now, y'all, I'm so high right now that I slammed the door in this dude's face. Slam the door, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, hold on, one moment, okay. And then I close the door again, ran and get the blunt. I'm just like, here you go. Give it to him. Close the door, lock it. Go hurry up and close my blinds in my window. I go lay down. Mind you, I told you I'm on the bottom floor, right? So my apartment is on the main street. So cars are going past, and you can see the headlights going back and forth or whatever, and going past. And I'm like, okay. So all of a sudden, I start seeing shadows on the wall. I'm like, oh my gosh, is he really trying to come back? Or whatever. All of a sudden I think I see a head. Now this dude had a little peanut head, y'all. I'm talking about super peanut head. So I'm like, okay. I start seeing this dude's head in the shadow of his head on the blinds, you guys. So I'm like, oh shit, he's about to come back and try to rape me, kill me, shoot me or something, because I ain't give him no Hey Leon. So you guys do not understand. This is what I did. I went and texted my brother, my little play brother. I text him my address. No, I call him. He don't answer, right? So I, mind you, when I'm acting as if I'm on the phone, talking to my mom, I'm on my play brother's voicemail. He didn't answer the phone. So I'm acting this whole time. I'm like, oh, you're coming over here, yada, yada, yada. I'm on his voicemail. So anyway, I text him. I'm like, brother, this is yada, 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 my first, middle, and last name. I live at this address and this apartment number. It's such 11 something at night. And I was with this person's first and last name. He's this old. He had this on. And it called me at 8 o'clock in the morning. If I don't answer, send the police. Honey, I'm trying to tell you, I was on a good one. I'm like, oh, there's a bottle of water on my on my little window pane. I said it was his DNA that's on it. He took a sip of the water and put it back. I said, if I don't answer the phone, y'all better send the police, honey, because I'm dead. So I'm this loaded, hang up the phone, right? Y'all do not understand. So, you know, I just applied my little eyeshadow right now. Before I go ahead and I'm about to add the pigment. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and add the pigment right now. So, yeah, but back to him, honey. So you guys know, right before I lay down, right? So I'm starting to trip out even more, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, my heart is starting to beat fast. I don't even know what's going on with me at this moment. I'm just like, what the hell is wrong? Like, am I really this high right now? So I called my sister. My sister stayed with my aunt at the time, who lived like literally 5 minutes driving over, if that. So I called her like, Now, my sister, she was a big smoker. I'm talking about she will smoke you out your house and home. I'm talking about she's Wiz Khalifa, Snoop Dogg type chiefer. You know what I'm saying? Lungs like a chimney. So she like, I call her. It's like midnight now. She's like, oh my gosh, bitch, what do you want? I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so high. I was with this person. Something's wrong, you know. I don't know what's going on. My heart's beating too fast. I'm like, call the ambulance, you know, send the ambulance. She's like, I am not calling the ambulance. You're just high. I'm like, I know I'm high. I was like, I can't take this. Come get me. Come take me to the hospital. She was like, if I take you to the hospital, they're going to put you in a crazy room. You don't want to go to the hospital. So I'm like, oh my gosh, then what do I do? Like, how do you do this? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you be this high? How do you smoke all this weed? Like, how, sis? How? So she's like, oh, you just drink some water. I was like, I don't even have no water. What do you mean? I said he drunk my last water. She was like, girl, you have water in your faucet. I'm like, oh, you're right. So she goes, oh man. So she's like, you have water in your faucet. I'm like, oh yeah, I do. That's right. So then I start talking. She said, who was you smoking with? I said, girl, this dude, she knows the dude because she went to school with him. What? You mess with him? She want to start questioning me and all this other stuff. I said, girl, we've been talking for about a month now, yada, yada, yada. So she's like, girl, well, drink some water. And then so my niece started waking up or whatever. And she's like, here, talk to your niece. Now, me and my niece, I mean, that was like my best friend. You know, that's my ride or die still to this day. You know what I'm saying? She my A1. So she's like, TT, my sister's like, tell TT to be okay. Stop, you know, acting like a big baby. She's like, TT, it's gonna be okay. Da, 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 da. I'm like, oh man, that's my little nigga. That's my little nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I love her, man. She's so filthy. She's so dope. Yada, yada, yada. She's like, oh man. I'm like, you know, hold on, y'all, because I'm like, yeah, man, that's my little nigga. You know what I'm saying? And so she's like, man, you're loaded. She was like, I'm like, yeah, I don't know what to do. I was like, come get me. Like, you know, my mind had got taken off being high at this point, which is how you know you high when you start drifting off to other conversations. So I'm like, man, come back and get me. I said, please come get me. Oh my gosh. She's like, just go lay down, go to sleep. You'll be fine. I'm like, okay. So I turn on Friday, you know what I'm saying? Of course, out of all movies, which was my favorite movie anyway. I ain't had cable at the time, so Friday stayed in my DVD player. So Friday stayed in my DVD player, if you know what I'm talking about. So then, honey, let me tell you. So all of a sudden, I fall asleep at this point. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning, right? My phone ring. Guess who it is? My crazy ass sister. Oh, guess what, B? We over here lit, man. We at the park, man. Da-da-da-da-da. We drinking on some Grey Goose and yada, yada, yada. And oh, yeah, man. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I just went to sleep. Well, I thought I just went to sleep. It felt like it. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, man. You need to come. You want me to come get you now? No, bitch, leave me alone. I was sleeping, right? So I finally go back to sleep. I wake up in the morning. Do you guys know I was so high? My brother calls me. He was like, what happened last night? I'm like, what you mean what happened? He like, nigga, you text me all kind of crazy stuff. Left me a crazy voicemail or whatever talking about you going off on somebody and somebody coming over. And then you text me talking about you was with this person at this time doing this and you know, so I'm just a little confused and I'm just like, oh my gosh. I look back at my text messages, right? You guys, I dead text this dude talking about come get me. I mean, I was with such and such at such and such and yada 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 and you know what I'm saying? Until this day, I do not think that dude know, but I'm like, I'm never smoking again. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm never smoking again. Or whatever. So my sister called me because there's this little corner store that was by my house. My sister's like, oh, I'm by your house. You want me to come get you? And I'm like, yeah, just come get me or whatever. And she's like, okay, I'll be there in like 2 minutes. So I go outside. I wake up, but I'm so like to the point. I feel like I have a hangover, just like a mad hangover. And we didn't even drink that much or whatever. So I'm like, Okay, so I go outside. She was like, bitch, you was on a good one last night. She was like, yeah, look, we was drinking this Grey Goose. You want some? And I'm like, no, bitch, I don't want, I'm never smoking again, yada, yada, yada. Now, everybody went to the corner store by my house because they had the Swisher Sweets for the low. You can get like 3 for $2 or some shit like that. So I'm like, she was like, oh, look, bitch, we're about to roll up now. You don't want to hit it? I'm like, all right, I'll smoke again. Girl, do you not know, after that, I really don't think this man knew how high I was. And I hadn't said anything or whatever to him about it, and I don't think I ever will. And I see him on and off and stuff now. We're friends on Facebook and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, by the way, add me on Facebook, you know, China Bugatti. Yeah, feel me? But yeah, I still to this day don't think that he knows how high I was and how tripped out I was. And it was weird because like I never said nothing, of course, but you know, I'm not gonna say anything. You know, what person wants to know, oh, I was tripping, I was high that night. No, baby, no. So, honey, that is my little rundown. I'll be back to show you guys the final look after I'm done straightening my hair. But this is the makeup. And here, my dolls, is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed my video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you with another video shortly.